Your dog does something strange when you leave the room. Maybe you have noticed it, maybe you have not, but it is happening. The moment you step out, even just to grab a glass of water, something shifts inside your Dachshund. Not in a dramatic way, not barking, not scratching at the door. Something quieter than that, something that scientists only recently started measuring and putting a name to. And what they found completely changed the way I think about this dog, because here's the contradiction that nobody talks about. The Dachshund was bred to go underground, alone, into a dark tunnel after prey that would fight back. Completely isolated from its owner, relying only on its own instincts and courage. That is the job they were built for, milling only on it. So you would expect this to be an independent dog. A dog that does not need you very much. A dog that can handle being alone just fine. And yet, research on dog-human attachment shows that Dachshunds score among the highest of any breed for something called proximity-seeking behavior, which is a scientific way of saying they need to be close to you. Physically close, not across the room close, right next to you close. There's a reason your Dachshund follows you into the bathroom. It is not clinginess. It is not neediness in the way we usually use that word. It is something much older and much more interesting than that. Let me explain where it comes from. When a Dachshund goes into a tunnel after a badger or a rabbit, it loses access to every signal that normally tells a social animal it is safe. No pack nearby, no eye contact, no familiar sounds. The whole sensory world it depends on, gone. So what did that dog evolve to do? It developed an extraordinarily sensitive internal map of where its person was at all times, not just sight and sounds, scent, routine, pattern. Your Dachshund does not just know you are in the kitchen. It knows the difference between your kitchen sounds when you are making coffee versus when you're getting your kitchen sounds when you're making coffee versus when you're getting your keys. It knows the difference between you sitting down and you standing up slowly in a way that means you are about to leave. Researchers studying olfactory cognition in dogs have found that scent-specialized breeds maintain what they describe as an active internal representation of their owner even in the owner's absence. The dog is not waiting passively. The brain is working, tracking, processing. Your Dachshund is holding a version of you in its mind right now. And here is where it gets even more interesting. Studies using cortisol measurement, which is the stress hormone, the one that spikes when we feel anxious or alert, found something unexpected in dogs with high attachment scores. The cortisol rise does not happen when the owner leaves. It happens before, in a window when the dog detects the early signals that leaving is about to happen. Your Dachshund is not reacting to your absence, it is bracing for it. That moment when your dog goes quiet and just stares at you while you are putting on your shoes, that is not your imagination. That is a nervous system preparing for separation from the one thing it has organized its entire sense of safety around. Which means every time you come home, something real is happening in that small body. Not excitement, not just excitement, relief. The cortisol drops, the proximity seeking starts immediately. The following you room to room in the first 10 minutes after you are back. That is not your dog being dramatic. That is a stress response unwinding. That is the nervous system resetting. That is the nervous system resetting. That is your dog recovering from missing you, and I think once you see it that way, you cannot really unsee it. The Dachshund wrapped around your feet is not being underfoot. It is doing what its brain was shaped over hundreds of years to do, staying as close as possible to the one anchor that makes the world feel navigable. The dog that was built to go underground alone learned, more than almost any other breed, exactly how much it needed to come back. That is what the science says. But honestly, I think you already knew it. You felt it every time they looked at you a little too long before you walked out the door. Hit that like button and subscribe. We share new discoveries about your dog every week. And tell us in the comments, does your Dachshund follow you from room to room? And did you ever notice that quiet moment right before you leave?